Okay, so spoiler warning for Final Fantasy VII Remake and the original Final Fantasy VII, not Rebirth. Here we are at Destiny's Crossroads. The release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is finally upon us. I am fully aware that there's already spoilers out there for what happens in this game in terms of changes and stuff like that. This video is not for those people. This video is for people like me who are starting my playthrough and we don't know how the game ends. We don't know what happens to Aerith or Aerith, however you want to call her. So yeah, we're used to other remakes when they change things from the original game. For instance, with the Resident Evil games of Capcom, there's been slight little surprises here and there, but with Final Fantasy VII Remake and with Rebirth, they've decided to take it a lot more intentional in terms of the story changes. There's fairly big story changes. By the end of Remake, of course, we've got Zack, who is seemingly still alive. Barrett at one point seems like he was going to die, and then the Whispers, who we'll talk about more in a sec, bring him back to life. So yeah, there's all this sort of experimentation going on here in terms of what to expect from how this remake progresses with the storyline. It's kind of familiar with how the new Star Trek films, how J.J. Abrams created a different parallel storyline, narrative future, where there's going to be some familiar elements, but there's also going to be some slight changes, so it keeps things fresh and new. So yeah, going on to the Whispers, or the Dementors as I like to call them. They seem very much to be a part of what is, whenever there's a change in the storyline, they are there, like Barrett again, when Barrett dies. So they seem very much relevant to keeping the story as close to the original story as possible. The question now with Rebirth, which is essentially Final Fantasy VII Disc 2, which I personally think would have been a much better title for the game than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They should have just called it Final Fantasy VII Remake Disc 2, personally. Yeah, we are very much coming across the point in the Final Fantasy VII storyline where Aerith, or Aerith, dies. And so, you know, we have to wonder if they're making changes to the storyline, if we have this alternate timeline that is being pursued, not only by Sephiroth, but by the game developers. We have to wonder, you know, what are they going to change? And it's weird how I've not heard many people talk about this. Like, it seems to me like Aerith dying or surviving, that seems to be like a really big contention to face. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Personally, I think it wouldn't work as well if she survives. The only way I think that could work is if maybe Tifa dies instead. Like maybe there's a moment where Aerith is about to die and then Tifa comes in the last minute to save her. I don't know. I think this is what's going to happen. Again, I've not seen any spoilers. This video isn't for anyone who has either finished Rebirth or seen spoilers, but this is what I think is going to happen. I think Aerith is still going to die, but I think there's going to be a moment where she almost survives, and then the Whispers come in and they make sure we stick to the original storyline. That's what I think is going to happen. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. You got all weekend to play Rebirth. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to be playing it as well. See what happens down the line. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video. I just really wanted to make a quick video, even if it is a bit late, like all the other videos I make, but just to sort of talk about what might happen with Aerith. And I guess we'll see, yeah, what happens. Leave your comments down below. Keep spoilers down to a minimum. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.